Hello, everyone, and welcome back to sqadia.com. Well, an irritable child may present to your clinic, and he may look like that he's refusing to eat or perform expected tasks. Fuzziness or other changes in behavior can also be seen. Well, childhood irritability can occur when a child feels badly because of any disease or experiences problems coping with life changes or other aspect of his environment. So, whenever a parent comes to you with an irritable child, you need to ask them three important questions, out of which you're going to ask them about certain headache, stiff neck, fever, ear pulling, salivation, nausea, vomiting, changes in appetite, diarrhea, crying when urinating, coughing, wheezing, difficulty in breathing, skin rash, changes in weight, excessive crying, difficulty in reading, attitude towards school, for example, being aggressive and stuff, and lastly, hyperactivity in that child. You also need to know if the child has a certain birth trauma, any kind of mental retardation, or a history of seizures. You also need to know about the behavioral changes of the child and how he acts differently from other siblings when they were his age. So now after asking these certain questions, now you need to perform the physical examination, and that specifically includes the following things including taking temperature and taking height measurements, weight measurements, and feeling the skull and hearing, eyesight, looking inside the mouth and throat examination if I'm being precise, and listening to the chest and heart with a stethoscope. It's sort of a chest exam in which you're gonna just listen to the heartbeat and stuff, and pushing on the abdomen, testing reflexes and movements, and other than that, you're also gonna test developmental skills of the child. Okay, so now that you've done the physical examination as well, now the question arises, what can cause irritability in children and what are some associated symptoms? So we're going to take symptom-based approach and then move towards diagnosis through those symptoms. So stick around for that. So, firstly, if a child is having difficulty in sitting still or paying attention, and more other than that, he also has really poor performance in school, then this means that the child is suffering from attention deficit hyperactivity syndrome, and it is also known as ADHD for short. ADHD is one of the most common neurodevelopmental disorders of childhood, and it is usually first diagnosed in childhood and often lasts. And if the child shows bizarre or unpredictable behavior and failure to communicate, it means that he's suffering from autism. Well, autism is a complex, lifelong developmental disability that typically appears during early childhood and can impact a person's social skills, communication, relationships, and self regulation. So, autism is a really big topic, and we can discuss it separately in a separate video if you guys want. If the child is showing frequent checking or repetitive behavior, then he might be suffering from obsessive compulsive disorder, that is also known as OCD for short. OCD is basically obsessive compulsive disorder, and which is a chronic and long lasting disorder in which a person has uncontrollable recurring thoughts like obsessions or behaviors that act as compulsions that he or she feels the urge or to repeat over and over again. So that's also a behavioral change, and that's how a irritable child may present with. So, if the patient or if the child, if I'm being precise, has fever, headache, stiff neck, and squinting, so he might be suffering from meningitis. Meningitis is an inflammation or swelling, sort of a swelling of the protective membranes covering the brain and spinal cord, called meninges, or a bacterial or viral infection of the fluid surrounding the brain and spinal cord usually causes the swelling. However, the injuries, cancer, certain drugs, and other types of infections can also occur, and they can also lead to meningitis. And if the patient has fever and ear pain, then they might be suffering from an ear infection that is sometimes called acute otitis media. And it is sort of a middle ear infection in which the air is filled between the spaces of the eardrum, and that contains tiny vibrating bones of the ears. So children are more likely than adults to get an ear infection. So that's why it is characterized in here. So if the patient or if the child has tooth pain or crying spells, like he cries really frequently, that means that he might be in the stage of teething. And teething is when teeth comes first through a baby's gum, and it's really painful, and it can be very frustrating times for the babies and their parents as well. So knowing what to expect during teething and how to make it a little less painful can really help. So if the patient has convulsions, uncontrolled shaking, or loss of consciousness, then there's a chance that they might have seizures. And a seizure is a burst of uncontrolled electrical activity between brain cells. And they're also known as neurons or nerve cells that cause temporary abnormalities in brain and muscle tone or movements. And that can lead to stiffness, twitching, and limpness. So, if the patient has difficulty reading and comprehending, then he might have some learning disorders that are known as dyslexia. A general term for disorders that involve difficulty in learning to read or interpret words, letters, and other symbols, but that do not affect general intelligence of that child. So, a child might be dyslexic and perform routine activities as well. So, if a child has difficulty hearing or complete deafness, then it's maybe a chance that you need to get it tested from an ENT specialist, because they might be getting a hearing impairment, deafness, or hearing loss that refers to a total or partial inability to hear the sounds. And symptoms may be mild, moderate, severe, or profound, and you're going to just get an ENT specialist to check that out for you. And if the child has deforming skin conditions or shyness, then he might be having some kind of a skin disease. And these are the conditions that can affect your layer of the skin. And these diseases can cause rashes, inflammation, itchiness, and other skin changes. So lastly, if the patient has extreme difficulty comprehending the things and he also has low IQ, then they might be having a mental retardation. And the mental retardation is present in about 2 to 3% of the population, and it can be defined as a cognitive ability that is markedly below average level and a decreased ability to adopt the one's environment. So you need to get proper checkup for that, and for to establish the fact that a person has a mental retardation, you need to get them tested properly. So this was all about the irritability in children. For more differential diagnosis videos, keep watching sqadia.com.